Welcome to Window Dressing, American Trash and National Treasures. I'm Madeline Jane Auble. This week is the wrap-up of my Tori Spelling discussion with the continuation of Donna and Ray's tumultuous relationship. I pick back up right where we left off last time, so please go back and listen to Tori Spelling Part 2 before listening to this episode. In Season 5, Episode 30, called Hello Life, Goodbye Beverly Hills, Ray's accumulative cruelty tips over into abuse. Andrea is leaving for Yale, and Cindy and Jim, Brandon's parents, are moving to Hong Kong. The whole gang, minus Brandon and Dylan, are at a daytime gathering to celebrate Andrea's departure. Brandon and Dylan are not there because Kelly is currently in the process of choosing between the two. Dylan wants her to go on a trip around the world with him, and Brandon proposed marriage. Donna managed to get Ray to show up to this event. He didn't want to go because he is suspicious of Donna's friends, especially David and Claire, who know that he is cheating on Donna with Valerie. This is a turn of events that follows the same trajectory as David's infidelity in his relationship with Donna. Apparently, Ray just couldn't resist Valerie and now fancies himself the victim of Val the femme fatale. Ray tries to rush Donna away from her friends, but she doesn't want to go. He storms off and she chases after him. She is wearing a simple sleeveless white collared shirt and a red miniskirt. Her hair is slicked back, and her now signature baby barrettes adorn the do. Ray is in a rage. She begs him not to leave angry. She says she hates when he gets this way. She starts to cry. Ray says, "So now you're going to cry, huh? How typical. Can't get what you want, so you turn on the faucets." The last part of Ray's vitriolic statement, "Can't get what you want, so you turn on the faucets," is a great indicator of his lack of empathy. People give us clues of how they process emotions when they are faced with the feelings of others. Ray may use his own sadness to manipulate Donna, so he assumes she is doing the same. But she is not. For Ray, his anger is the only true indicator of a real tear. Unfortunately, he has left so much of his life unprocessed, which we will soon see, that his rage bubbles up in place of other feelings that he has actively kept at bay. So in that way, he may really believe Donna's tears are trash, but his beliefs can't tarnish Donna's purity. Her tears hold her accountable to reality regardless of his attempted alterations of it. This is a position I have been in. You don't understand why the person you are with suddenly becomes unreachable. You don't realize they are out of control, so they spin you around with them. The behavior itself is childish and cruel, but it's the silent moments after the relationship ends that this screaming and berating really takes its toll. They say it can take up to 2 years to feel safe after a trauma like this. Imagine what that's like if you are a woman. Do you have any idea how often we get yelled at by men? It's a lot. He hasn't hit her yet. He hasn't called her a cunt or said fuck you or fuck off, but he has yelled at her. Yelling at a woman is a different thing than yelling at a man. It's different than being flustered, on the edge, or upset. It's even different than acting badly, rashly, or recklessly, which are all potentially forgivable. It's a scar. It's an injury. It's an existing deep wound to women because we were the property of men for most of time. After that, they're caretakers, baby makers, and idea incubators. That history wasn't erased when we got the right to have a credit card in the 1970s. Donna gets angry and says to Ray, "Do me a favor and don't call me." He says, "Don't worry, I won't." Donna looks devastated. That night, back at the beach house, Kelly and Donna are talking. Donna says, "What's wrong with men?" Kelly says, "I have been asking myself that same question." Donna asks Kelly if Brandon or Dylan are ever mean to her. She says Brandon isn't, but Dylan is when he is drinking. She asks Donna why she is asking. Donna says that sometimes Ray, she trails off and then simply says, "He hurts my feelings." Donna's inability to describe exactly what Ray is doing is painful because it is something that Kelly would understand. All women do, on some level, understand the violence of being yelled at. The issues come when we yell back. Because in a world where both parties are arrested if there is a domestic violence accusation, there is no room for the difference gender makes. The power structure of gender is integral to what domestic abuse is, just as it is with rape. A man can be raped. A woman can hit a man. But generally speaking, women overwhelmingly make up the victims of both because there is a power disparity that is gendered. When men accuse women of cutting them down or gaslighting them, it dilutes the language we have worked hard to get to describe what has been happening to us for generations, and I deeply resent it. I'm not sure a woman can gaslight in the same way a man can, because there is no underlying assumption that she is the authority in the room, because she is not the man in the room. None of these so-called tactics function the same way if they are not relying on the assumed superiority of maleness. There are many nuances, as with gender nonconforming people, same-sex partnerships, and of course power differentials change with race, social status, and class. I'm not trying to disregard these factors, just speaking generally of what I have experienced and witnessed in male and female partnerships. Donna admits to Kelly that she regrets telling Ray not to call her. She says she loves him, but sometimes when I'm with Ray, I feel so confused. I don't know who I am or what I want. I have been accused of the opposite, of being too firm in my belief system, too unmovable in my outlook. My self-knowledge is not only hard-earned, but it had to, and still has to, be defended. Kelly says something interesting. She says, "That's totally understandable. It's natural to let go of part of yourself to be with someone else, but the important part is that you don't lose your identity." Of course, Kelly will later choose herself in this episode instead of Brandon or Dylan in a famous TV moment that epitomizes third-wave feminism. But in the meantime, this comment is unnerving. Not because she is wrong, but because she is right. It is natural to let go of part of yourself to be with someone else if you're a woman. Natural meaning expected. If you don't, or if there is some expectation that your male counterpart needs to change, things unravel. So you are left with being alone, or as it is framed in the era of girl power, choosing yourself. By the next episode, the season 5 finale called P.S. I Love You Part 1 and 2, Ray is apologizing and literally serenading Donna on the porch of the beach house. He says he didn't realize how much he needed her and how he would do anything to win her back. I have to say that I fall for this kind of thing every time. The child bride in me loves it. Donna, unfortunately, falls for it too. She says yes to taking him back on the condition that he comes to Palm Springs with her and lend her his support for her Alpha House sorority speech. Now, this is not Ray's cup of tea, but when reminded he said he would do anything, he agrees. Unfortunately, he didn't mean what he said, and the trip quickly becomes about how his needs aren't being met by her. The couple go horseback riding in the desert of Palm Springs. They have been out an hour when Donna says they need to head back. She promised her mother she would be there for her speech, because both Donna and her mom are slated for speeches at the Alpha event. Ray says, "Wait a second. I drove you all the way to Palm Springs. I'm as nice as possible to your mother, and I can't get more than an hour of your precious time?" Ray turns the opportunity Donna gave him to show up for her into a referendum on how ungrateful she is. There are several sexist phrases or thoughts that incite rage, cut to the bone, and kill off love, but one of the worst is the accusation that a woman is ungrateful. When the couple gets back, post Donna's mother's speech, which they were late for, they are arguing outside in front of the stairs that lead to Donna's hotel room. Donna asks Ray to drop it. She says she just wants to change clothes and be done with this. Ray accuses her of wanting to be done with him. He says he wouldn't even be there if it weren't for her, and so on. Donna, still dressed in double denim from horseback riding, turns away from Ray and walks up the stairs. He follows her, grabs her, and pushes her down the stairs. Valerie witnesses the whole thing and runs out of her room to help. Donna ends up with a broken arm and a very apologetic boyfriend. It's confusing to be physically injured. It's more confusing to have someone apologizing at you again. Donna was in the midst of dealing with the disappointment of Ray's lack of effort after he begged for the opportunity to prove himself the first time. Now he has taken it back and gone a step further and physically harmed her. But on the other hand, he is back to begging, which, given the last few days of Donna's life, would be difficult not to lean into. If not for Valerie as a witness, Donna could almost pretend it never happened. Valerie is an imperfect witness, and Donna knows it. When she comes to talk to Donna about what happened later that night at Donna's Alpha speech, Donna makes it clear that she knows something has been going on between Valerie and Ray. So now she has an excuse to dismiss Valerie's concern as conniving. Val's concern and offers of help are genuine, but my support of Valerie will have to come in another episode. Donna gets up and makes a speech about how the modern Alpha House sorority woman is never pushed around. You can see the shame on her face. Shame that should be Ray's, but somehow is hers to carry. In the first episode of Season 6, Ray and Donna are on Cloud 9. He spent the summer making it up to her, and she fell deeper into the relationship and farther away from herself. But thankfully, Valerie has cooked up a scheme to get rid of Ray. That is a multi-episode arc, which is difficult to view because several episodes from Season 6 are missing off of Paramount, which is the streaming platform that currently holds the rights to the show. But basically, Val orchestrates the theft of a necklace, plants it on Ray, and then has her friend Ginger, who is in town from Buffalo, steal some money from the Walsh family cookie jar. Ray is blamed for both and eventually takes off for lands unknown. I think Nevada was mentioned. Ray comes back around and attempts to re-narrate the relationship into a toxic soup as opposed to taking any real accountability. But she makes it out of the relationship in large part because of the confidence she gains from participating in a cherished Southern California tradition, the Rose Parade. The several-episode arc about the Tournament of the Roses is really sweet, and you can tell that it meant something to Tori, not just her character Donna. In Season 6, Episode 4, called Everything is Coming Up Roses, Donna, Kelly, and Valerie are all at the tournament house in Pasadena as part of the tryout process. They are touring the grounds and home when they see a glass case of tiaras from competitions past. Donna says, "I used to make tiaras for my dolls." Val says, "You're kidding, right?" Donna says, "Oh, you didn't grow up in Southern California. My Barbie won every year." Kelly says, "So did mine." This is a really sweet moment between Kelly and Donna, and by extension, all the women in that space with them. Obviously, pageants have a lot of problematic elements, but one of the things that is inherent to them is women being together. Female gatherings of this kind are far and few between in modern culture, and can act to shore up the weaknesses among us and create support and strength. It highlights all the things about Donna that Ray didn't understand or appreciate. Her sweetness, her commitment to tradition and friendship, and her love of all things girly. Don't mistake Donna Martin's kindness for weakness, or Tori Spelling's for that matter. Just as Donna begins to go her separate way, Ray pulls her back. In the 7th episode of Season 6, he sets up a meeting with her to retrieve his notebook because he is a songwriter. Don't forget the spooky Halloween song he wrote. Donna arrives to the Peach Pit, a very public place, to meet Ray. But Ray has orchestrated a more private setting in the attached nightclub, the Peach Pit After Dark, also known as the After Dark. Donna is wearing a black short-sleeve crop top that ties in the front with matching flared pants. She hands Ray his notebook. He says, "You didn't come all this way to give me my book." Donna screams, "Don't tell me why I came." Ray says, "Don't get crazy on me, all right? Relax. I made you a cup of coffee. Sit down." Ray has become an expert at setting Donna up and then calling her behavior unhinged, regardless of the fact that it is not. Donna is obviously not getting crazy, but as a woman, even and perhaps especially when dealing with an abusive man, whether that be physical or verbal, you can't show emotion, especially anger. If you do, then you are in the "it takes two to tango" territory, which of course is bullshit. As an aside, that is exactly what Tommy Lee said in an interview he gave describing the time he shoved and kicked Pamela while she was holding their small child. Ray attempts to make small talk, but Donna quickly brings it back to reality by confronting him about his anger and the infamous Palm Springs incident. He says pretty dismissively, "I'm sorry about the past, but I can't change it." He throws the good times in her face and tries to turn the tables to make it appear that she is ungrateful or a harpy, which is one of my favorite mythological demons that women get compared to. Donna comes prepared with facts from a book she read about abuse. A dangerous thing to bring to a meeting with a narcissist who is good at turning things to his favor. But she goes ahead with the labeled descriptions of the honeymoon period and the escalation of violence that Ray has exhibited in their relationship. Also, can we please remember that he cheated on her, that he lied to her, that he literally fucked Valerie and talked to Val about Donna and their relationship like nothing was fucking sacred to him? Hot tip, don't tell men anything. Ray says, "Well, you built me up, so I guess it's only fitting that you tear me down." Donna says, "This is not my fault." Ray says, "Yeah, right, you're blameless. Enjoy your time alone, Donna." I told you he would do this. He has not only shifted blame onto her, thereby relieving some of the weight of responsibility off of him, but he has also sown a seed of doubt in Donna about her worthiness. If she is to blame, even in part, then she deserved to be screamed at, pushed, scared, degraded, and if that is true, then maybe Ray isn't so bad. He's willing to work on it, change, love her, even though she is not a piece of cake to deal with, and so on. Do you see how quickly a man can destroy a woman and then make her think she was asking for it? Even lucky to be put up with for that long? Shout out to Griffith's previous comment. The scaffolding men build out of the shards of soul they steal from women accumulates in their favor and to our detriment, making us more vulnerable the more we are exposed. No book about abuse can save Donna from that. Thank God for the Rose Parade. Later in this episode, Donna and Kelly are discussing Donna's upcoming interview for Rose Court Princess. She tells Kelly that the theme for this year's parade is kids, laughter, and dreams. With her newfound confidence, Donna tells Kelly what actually happened in Palm Springs with Ray and the stairs. Kelly tells her she can't go back to Ray. Donna's show of vulnerability allows Kelly to open up to Donna about her new boyfriend, Colin, who not only cheats on her multiple times, but also eventually gets her hooked on cocaine. More new soul destruction for men. I'll get into detail about Kelly when it's time for my Jenny Garth episodes. In the meantime, Donna is on her way to being whole again until Mr. Pumpkinhead strikes again on Halloween. In the Season 6 Halloween episode entitled Gypsies, Cramps, and Fleas, Ray shows up with 1,000,000 pumpkins to Donna's beach house door. He says, "Happy anniversary, Donna." They are broken up, but his commitment to gaslighting somehow softens Donna. It is slightly charming. But she holds her ground and doesn't let him in the house. Later that day, Donna makes loose plans to meet Joe, played by Cameron Bancroft, a new jock, not of the Griffith variety, at the After Dark's Halloween party. When Donna runs into Ray again, she makes it clear that she is interested in someone else and that if that bothers him, he shouldn't come tonight. He pretends to understand, but when the night falls and Donna is dressed to kill in a sexy devil costume and dancing with Joe, he snaps. He starts his statement with false romantic airs, and then finishes it with real disdain. He goes up to Donna and Joe and says, "I love you, Donna, and I'm willing to change for you, but all you want to do is trash me." He warns Joe about Donna's poisonous heart, turning the Virgin of Beverly Hills into a femme fatale to cover for his ineptitude as a man. Women are always being gifted with evil powers when a man is faced with his immeasurable weakness. When Joe takes Donna home, Ray is waiting there in the shadows for her to arrive. After Joe leaves, he says he just wants to explain his behavior and comes across as very calm until Donna asks him to leave, and then he tells her she is acting like a slut and grabs her by the arm. Joe conveniently comes back, rescues Donna, and throws Ray to the ground, injuring his arm. That arm injury will come back to haunt Joe and Donna, but that is an extension of an already dead storyline I likely won't get into. The trauma bonding cements Joe and Donna as a couple. In Season 6, Episode 9, called Earthquake Weather, Ray comes to Donna to ask her to meet with his therapist. In a last-ditch effort to save his soul, he started therapy and knows what he did is wrong. Donna agrees to go, and when questioned by Joe and Claire about why she would do this, she says she is doing it because everyone deserves help, and it may protect the next girl. I know I have espoused on this podcast that it is not a woman's responsibility to look out for other women at all times, that this mindset, in fact, works to lessen men's accountability generally. But in this case, I can't help but see the virtue in, well, Donna's virtue. It's admirable and very true to her character. It is also worth saying if women don't protect each other when they can, literally no one will. So Donna goes to therapy with Ray. All this in the middle of an earthquake that mostly is an inconsequential event, except for trapping Brandon and his newish girlfriend Susan in an elevator. Susan is Annika from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Well, that is, she is the actress that played Annika, Emma Caulfield. She is great in this role too. While at therapy, Donna learns that Ray suffered abuse in his childhood. This is the reason he is abusive now. We have all heard this excuse, and there is a thin line between caring and coddling an abuser. But from my perspective, understanding is the key to peace. Obviously, I don't think forgiveness is required to understand. I do not want to diminish childhood abuse or trauma of any kind. I just want to be clear that an explanation is not the same as a justification. Ray was unable to talk about or even recognize what his motivations and feelings were within his relationship. So there really was no way to help him from Donna's end. After the earthquake, Joe and Donna arrive at the beach house to find Ray there, again. This time, he is boarding up a window that was broken during the quake. When his boundary crossing is met with a firmer stance from Donna, he throws a hammer through the other not yet broken plate glass window. He leaves, but he purposely walks into Donna on his way out. His lack of ability to communicate has again erupted in shattered dreams and broken glass. Donna has her last interview with the Rose Court at the end of this episode. In that interview, wearing her lucky pale pink princess-themed shift dress, she is asked this question: what can we as individuals do to ensure our children and every child can realize their hopes and their dreams? Donna says, "That's a very interesting question. No, I'm wrong. It's a very tragic question. I never realized until recently just how fragile children are. You see, I know this man who was hit so often when he was a child that he grew up thinking it was normal, and now that he's a man, whenever he gets angry, he hits. I know this because he hit me. Children are filled with so many hopes and dreams, but their futures are built on our love. We must protect our children's hearts, or their souls can be damaged forever." Great speech, Donna. First off, it was generous for her to refer to Ray as a man and not a boy. Second, we should first focus on protecting mothers from men who beat them and then beat children. Ray's mother was the first victim. Also, I hesitate to allow her to get up there and take into her body and heart the abuse he suffered as her own. Just because he made it hers by hurting her doesn't mean it is rightfully her problem to solve. Again, this seems like a problem created and perpetuated by men and the very nature of their power as prescribed by the culture. But again, I am charmed by Donna because for her, this is the ultimate reclamation of her power. Remember, virtue is her power source, and she stands firmly in that during this speech. We can thank Tori Spelling for making Donna Martin such a compelling character. Donna makes it into the Rose Court. She is princess number 7. I will be back with a Jenny Garth, Kelly Taylor episode soon. But there is going to be a surprise bonus episode in between as a 90210 palette cleanser. We will discuss what that is next time on Window Dressing, American Trash, and National Treasures. Thank you for listening. I'm Madeline Jane Auble. Please like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening, and like and follow me on Instagram at Window Dressing Podcast.